Welcome, my friends. Have you ever stopped to wonder about the tiny glass bottle sitting on your vanity? It is more than just a liquid. It is a story of nature, time, and incredible human skill. Today, I want to take you on a journey to discover how this magic is made. Before we step into the sun-drenched fields of modern France, we must look back through the mists of time. The story of perfume did not begin in a laboratory, but in the temples of the ancient world. The very word perfume tells us its secret. It comes from the Latin words perfumum, meaning through smoke. Thousands of years ago, in ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia, people did not spray scent, they burned it. They believed that the fragrant smoke of incense, made from precious resins like frankincense and myrrh, was a bridge to the heavens, carrying their prayers directly to the gods. In Egypt, perfume was a symbol of status and divinity. It is said that when the tomb of King Tutankhamun was opened thousands of years after his death, a faint, lingering scent of resin still filled the air. These ancients were the first to infuse oils with flowers and herbs, creating thick ointments that royalty would wear on their heads to stay fragrant in the desert heat. As the centuries turned, the art of scent traveled. While Europe was in its dark ages, the golden age of Islam brought a scientific revolution. Persian physicians, such as Avicenna, perfected the art of distillation. They were the first to capture the true soul of a rose by using steam to extract its oil. The very same process we see in the factories of Grasse today. Perfume finally arrived in Europe as a luxury for the elite. In the 16th century, Catherine de' Medici brought her personal perfumer from Italy to France. At that time, perfume had a very practical and slightly unromantic use. It was used to scent leather gloves to hide the unpleasant smell of the tanning process. It was this strange marriage of leather and flowers that turned the small town of Grasse into a sanctuary for scent. What began as a way to hide bad odors eventually evolved into the pursuit of pure beauty. Imagine, if you will, a place where the air always smells like a dream. We are traveling to the south of France, to a small, beautiful town called Grasse. Since the 1750s, Grasse has been known as the perfume capital of the world. It is a place of rolling hills and warm sunshine. The climate here is perfect. The sun is gentle and the soil is rich, making it the best home for precious flowers. Think of the most famous names in fashion, like Chanel and Dior. When they want to create a new masterpiece, they always come back to these hills. In Grasse, making perfume is not just a business, it is a true work of art that has been passed down through many families. The people here understand the language of flowers. They know exactly when a rose is ready to share its soul. Every morning, the mist sits low on the fields. You can smell the lavender, the jasmine, and the roses mixing together in the breeze. It is a magical invitation. It asks us to slow down and appreciate the beauty of the natural world. Have you ever smelled something that took you back to a happy memory? That is the power we are exploring today. We're about to see how a simple blossom becomes a luxury fragrance. It is a long journey, full of patience and passion. So, take a deep breath. Let's step into the fields and see where the magic begins. The story of your favorite scent starts with a single seed and a lot of love. Look out across the horizon. What do you see? It looks like a sea of waving purple silk. This is the lavender field, one of the most famous sights in all of France. But do not be fooled by its beauty. This plant requires great dedication. Did you know that a lavender plant takes 5 long years to fully grow? A farmer must wait and watch with incredible patience. The fields we see today were often planted years ago. The first full harvest does not happen until the plant reaches its peak of health. Between the rows of purple, there is a constant battle. Weeds are the enemy, trying to steal water and food from the lavender. Farmers do not use harsh chemicals here. Instead, they use special machines that blast hot steam onto the weeds to keep the lavender safe. From May to September, this is a full-time job. The farmers live by the rhythm of the seasons and the needs of the earth. Imagine the quiet of the early morning, just as the sun begins to rise. This is the most important time of the day. When the petals turn from a bright purple to a dusty gray, the lavender is ripe. It is finally time for the harvest. The oil inside the plant is strongest in the early hours. This is why the harvest happens while the world is still waking up. Special machines move gently through the fields, lifting the stems and cutting them with care. The scent in the air is powerful and relaxing. Even the honeybees love this time. They fly from flower to flower, creating a special type of lavender honey that captures the essence of the countryside. It takes hundreds of pounds of these purple flowers just to make a small amount of oil. Every drop represents a year of hard work. The farmers' hands are tired, but their hearts are full. Now, the lavender is ready for its next transformation. It has finished its life in the field and is ready to become a legend. While lavender is strong, there are two other flowers that are much more fragile. We call them the queens and stars of the perfume world. First, let us meet the queen, the rose. In the world of luxury perfume, the rose is the MVP, the most valuable player. The scent of a rose is complex. It smells like citrus, fresh fruit, and a green morning all at the same time. But harvesting roses is a very difficult task. Unlike lavender, you cannot use a machine to pick these flowers. Every single rose is picked by hand, one by one. Can you imagine the amount of work that takes? Workers must have a very gentle touch. If they squeeze the flower too hard, they might damage the delicate petals and lose the scent. They place the roses into soft fabric sacks. As soon as a bag is full, it is rushed away to the distillery for immediate processing. Then we have the stars of the show, the tiny white jasmine blossoms. Jasmine is famous for being sweet, mysterious, and very seductive. Jasmine flowers are small and light, but they hold a very powerful magic. They represent elegance and luxury. The workers move through the jasmine bushes in the early morning. They must work fast because the sun's heat can make the fragrance fade away. If the flowers sit in the sun for too long, the oil evaporates. The soul of the flower simply disappears into the air. This is why the distillery is always close to the fields. Time is the greatest enemy of the perfume maker. Every flower must be fresh, dewy, and perfect. There are no shortcuts when you are making something world-class. It is a beautiful sight to see hundreds of people working together in the quiet morning light. They are like a silent orchestra. Their hands move quickly, plucking the tiny white stars and the soft red queens. They are gathering the ingredients for a dream. Now we leave the sunny fields and enter the factory. This place is called a distillery. It is like a giant kitchen where science meets magic. Imagine big, shiny metal tanks. These are called stills. How do we get the smell out of a flower and into a bottle? We use hot steam. First, workers pack the flowers tightly into the tank. Then they pump hot steam through the bottom. The heat is very important. It is hot enough to open the tiny pockets of oil in the flowers, but it is gentle enough not to burn them. It is like the flowers are sweating their scent into the steam. Next, the steam travels through a cold pipe. When the steam cools down, it turns back into liquid. Because oil is lighter than water, it floats on top. The workers carefully collect this oil. But, my friends, look at how little we get. To make just a small amount of lavender oil, we need a mountain of flowers. For roses, it is even harder. You need 2.5 tons of petals to make just half a kilogram of rose oil. This is why rose oil is so expensive. People call it liquid gold because one small bottle can cost thousands of dollars. Every single drop is precious. It is the heart of thousands of flowers in your hand. Now we have our liquid gold, but we cannot wear it yet. It goes to a laboratory to meet the nose. A nose is a master perfume maker. These people have a superpower. They can recognize thousands of different smells. They study for many years to learn this art. In their office, they have a special desk called a perfume organ. It holds thousands of small bottles of different scents. Creating a perfume is like writing a beautiful song. A song has a beginning, a middle, and an end. In perfume, these are called notes. The top notes, the first smell you notice. The heart notes, the main smell of the perfume. The base notes, the smell that stays on your skin all day. The nose chooses the ingredients very carefully. But here is a secret. Pure oils are too strong to wear alone. They need a helper to spread the scent into the air. That helper is alcohol. Alcohol helps the perfume fly to your nose. Before the perfume is finished, it must be 100% pure. We use a high-tech machine to check every molecule. Even a tiny mistake can ruin the masterpiece. Finally, the perfume needs to age or rest in large tanks for many months. During this time, the different smells marry each other and become smooth. Patience is the most important part. You cannot rush a work of art. The perfume is ready, but it cannot be a luxury product without a beautiful bottle. The story of the bottle is a story of fire. It starts with very simple ingredients: sand, soda ash, and limestone. These ingredients are mixed and put into a giant furnace. The heat is incredible. It reaches 2,900 degrees Fahrenheit until the sand melts into a glowing liquid. This molten glass is then cut into equal drops by giant metal scissors. Each drop is exactly the right size to make one bottle. The glass drop falls into a mold, and a blast of compressed air pushes the glass against the sides to create the shape. When the bottle comes out, it is still very hot. It goes fire polishing, where more flames make the surface smooth and shiny like a diamond. Then, the bottles are cooled down very slowly. This step is crucial because it makes the glass strong and prevents it from breaking. Machines and human workers look at every single bottle. If there is one tiny bubble or a scratch, the bottle is rejected and recycled. Only the perfect bottles move to the next stage. In a second facility, the bottles get their beautiful decorations. This is where we add the gold logos and the elegant labels. We use special techniques like silk screen printing to add the final touches. The bottle is now a vessel of splendor. It is heavy, clear, and beautiful to touch, a perfect partner for the scent inside. We are now at the final stop of our journey, the filling station. Here, everything comes together with perfect accuracy. The perfume is pumped into the bottles using ultra-precise nozzles. We never fill the bottle 100% to the top. We leave a little bit of space to maintain the right pressure. This helps the perfume stay fresh and prevents the bottle from leaking during travel. Did you know that the amount of alcohol changes depending on the fragrance? Perfumes for women usually have about 2/3 alcohol, but perfumes for men often have up to 95% alcohol for a bolder, longer-lasting wear. After the liquid is inside, the spray pump is attached by hand. A unique batch code is stamped on the bottom, so every bottle can be tracked. The final stage is packaging. Every bottle is polished one last time by a worker wearing soft white gloves. The bottle is placed into its box and wrapped in clear film. Everything is done with care, so the box looks perfect when you open it. Think back to the beginning of our story. We started with a tiny purple flower in a sunny field in France. We saw the farmer's hard work, the delicate touch of the pickers, and the magic of the steam distillation. We met the nose who wrote the recipe and the fire that shaped the glass. All of those people are now inside that one small bottle. Next time you spray your favorite perfume, I hope you remember the rolling hills of Kos. I hope you can almost smell the morning mist and see the sea of purple lavender. Your perfume is not just a smell. It is a journey, a memory, and a piece of art that you carry with you every day. Thank you for traveling with me through the wonderful world of scent. I wish you a beautiful and fragrant day ahead.